Today, I'm going to show you guys how to get 1,178 GPM on Alchemist. For a little bit of perspective, what that means, if we look at the timings of 33's gameplay this game, is he got a 10-minute radiance, you heard that right, a 10-minute radiance, then a 15-minute Manta, an 18-minute Octarine Core, Boots of Travel, Shivas, and then a Bloodthorn, all by 28 minutes. Let's take a look at how he does it, and hopefully you guys can do it in your pubs as well. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the Game Leap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the Game Leap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. All right, so starting off, he does have a good mid matchup against the Zeus. And by the way, this is a 10k MMR game. This is a 10k average game. This is no joke. If you think I'm kidding, on the enemy team is literally the highest MMR player in the world, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe 23 Savage is higher, I'm not sure, but you get the point, right? This is an insanely high MMR game. And yet, at the end of the day, he still pulls off this disturbing GPM. So nonetheless, let's get into it. You can see he skills up his E. Obviously, he did this before the bounty runes to get an extra 20 gold per bounty rune. It's not insane, but it's definitely something. I will admit this mid-alchemist variation is particularly good when you're against heroes that don't pressure you. For instance, something like Zeus. Honestly, your hero is pretty good against Leshrac in lane, I found. If you outplay him, you know, it goes both ways. But Alchemist really can be a hero that just does fine because of Acid Spray. On top of that, he does a great job of aggroing up the hill here to make sure he secures all the CS, but really nothing too complex, just focuses on every individual CS, and then eventually with Acid Spray level 2 is going to plop it down on the wave, and focuses 90% of his attention on every single last hit, which he gets 7 out of 8. From there, he's going to pull a ton of creep aggro down the high ground over and over again, using the Acid Spray on basically every creep wave from here on out. And what's really great is when you Acid Spray the 140 wave, or the 130 wave, I should say, you are going to be able to get a very convenient water room. Now, keep in mind, this strategy, if you're going to use it, can be used against any mid lane hero. However, you can't go these items. You should be going bottle in the majority of matchups. I think he just knows that Zeus isn't like the highest pressure mid, and the magic wand is like a lot of sustain against Zeus. So he can get away with no bottle, but I think you should be buying and rushing bottle in almost every single matchup. He's going full greed by rushing Mana Boots, which will later turn into Octarine Core. But yeah, another cool thing you can do, because Acid pushes out the wave so effectively, and by the way, he took Greevil's Greed at level 3, which is insane, because all it does is make bounty runes give you more gold, and then give you a max of 3 more gold per CS. That's why almost no one ever takes Greevil's Greed. You almost solely see Acid Spray to increase the damage and armor reduction so you can kill the wave faster. On top of that, he can drag the wave behind the tier 1 and tier 2, so if the matchup's bad, you can try to push out the wave, then walk through the river, pick up the water rune, and catch the next wave. And that's exactly what he does. The Zeus does end up contesting him here, but it doesn't really do too much, and you know, in your average pub, no one's going to drag the wave over to you. You're going to get a free creep wave, and yeah, at this point he has 18 CS out of, I believe, 20, and he's off to a pretty good start. From there, it really is just aciding every wave. Keep in mind when he places down the Acid Spray, it's specifically going to be in front of himself. This is key, because if you don't do this, they're just going to hit you. Now, if you're against a melee hero who might run through and like start zoning you from here, or if in general they might try to zone you from here, you want to position the Acid Spray accordingly, right? If they're already here, you shouldn't just put it all the way over here. But if the enemy mid laner is starting from in between the hill and the high ground around this area, then of course, like in this case, you want to put down the Acid Spray where it's going to hit them. And now the Zeus is taking a substantial amount of damage as he tries to get some denies against the Alch. Then 33, after pushing in the 3 wave, right, the 3-minute wave, is going to walk up to the enemy bounty rune and pick it up. From there, he gets really lucky. If you get this camp, you can farm it. I actually don't think he would farm any other camp, to be honest, because this camp is 4 creeps, which works really well with Greevil's Greed, And on top of that, they die very fast and do minimal damage. Most camps will kind of destroy you. From there, after clearing up this camp, he's going to TP to his bottom outpost, buy a windlace, and then get the other bounty rune. So obviously putting a major emphasis on these bounty runes, which, by the way, he took the 3rd point in Grieval's Greed, so he's getting 2.6 times the gold. Obviously very significant for the bounty runes. But then, yeah, you're just back to the mid lane. You're going to push it out as fast as you can. At this point, a lot of mid laners can potentially zone you out, so you should be careful and often very patient. We're going to see him go behind the tower once again here, trying to take the wave all the way around, and the Zeus can't really do anything about it. He's going to drag the wave all the way to the large camp here and farm up the large camp, as well as stack the large camp all in one. This is some of the most ridiculous efficiency I've ever seen in my life. It's actually insane. He stacks the camp, farms both of it with the acid spray, hits level 6 off of it, which is going to allow him to pop Chem Rage, pop the acid spray, and take out the large cam now. From there, back to the mid lane, going to push out the mid lane, not surprisingly, on Chem Rage. Basically, no hero can zone you out. 50 HP regen is just way too much, as he's going to once again acid down the wave. Clearing the range creep first. Always put an emphasis on hitting the first melee creep and then the range creep and then back to the last 2 melee creeps. That's pretty key. So yeah, pushes out the mid wave and contests the power rune, which he doesn't get. It is what it is. And now he's going to farm the large camp. He gets blessed by the gods. This troll camp is the best possible camp. These and mud golems are like the best camps you can get. At this point in the game, they're the most units by far, and so Grieval's Greed really takes advantage of it. He's going to take Acid Spray at level 7, which frankly, I couldn't tell you why. You know, I really don't know why he thinks 3 points of greed is the point to stop at. I really don't. Maybe you guys have a reason and you could tell it to everyone in the comment section down below, because I honestly don't know. From there, he gets really lucky and his Snapfire finds an enemy stack and he's going to clear it up. So nice little convenient stack for him off the Snapfire's discovery. From there, he makes probably the craziest play of the game. I can't believe, like, I loaded up this replay and I watched it through, right, guys? I watched it through and I'm like, okay, I have a general gist of what he's going to do. I just need to learn the nuance. The last thing I expected was him to try to kill a fully farmed, full HP Visage, right? This Visage is having a good game. This Visage is dominating the enemy Ursa. Dominating. Look, it's not even close. It's more than a 1k gap at 7 minutes. But we see him rotate in, defend the safe lane tower, and kill off the Visage. Oh my god, he juked the bird stun as well. What a beast. Pops a second concoction, and finishes off the kill. Beautifully done. And from there, he's able to drag the wave all the way over to a camp. This is a great play you can make. Unfortunately, the camps are blocked, but this is a great play you can make anytime you have a creep wave. Instead of just farming the creep wave straight up, you can get double the value from the acid spray and farm 2 at a time, as he's lucky and gets the arcane ring. But he actually swaps out the arcane ring for the Lancer Pursuit. Interesting. From there, he's going to make a couple stacks in the jungle, using the acid spray to drag out this camp. I guess he knew? Wait, look at this. This is insane. Is this intentional? He acid sprays the camp at 851, and runs to the left. Now these creeps are going to run back into the camp, and then the acid is going to aggro them out again at the perfect time and stack the camp. Does he just know that? He definitely just knows that. That's crazy. That's good to know. From there, acid spray out the camp, and that's the Sacred Relic completed at 9:30. He'll pop his mana boots, pop the Chem Rage on the midwave, and clear up the midwave. With Sacred Relic completed, you push out the midwave very, very quickly, and of course you should look to do so. You don't really need to do anything besides jungle at this point, and we'll even see, I guess because of the ward on the bottom side, he sees the Terrorblade, and he knows he can jungle this jungle. And this is probably the biggest reason why he hits this 10, 30, 11 minute Radiance timing, because he just identifies that he can go in the Dire Woods. Dire Woods is Alchemist's home. Alchemist lives in the Dire Woods because you can drag the camps together. You can drag these 2 together just by cutting this one tree, right? And then you can drag these 2 together very conveniently just by dragging them together. That's it. And yeah, it's extremely efficient, but usually on Radiant, you don't pick Alch because you don't have access to this jungle. It's very common for pro teams specifically to pick Alch when on Dire. It's something they actually intentionally do, and it's something you should keep in mind as well. But apparently, if you just have the awareness, you can just run into the Dire Woods. And now with Radiance, things begin to get insane. He stacks the large camp, which is going to draw it out. And by the way, it was already stacked. So he gets a triple stack, clears this up, looks at the treant, which it's an ambitious kill. I don't really know why he spent his time doing that. Only because the treant's going to run through the trees. But he sees the Terrorblade mid. He knows their bottom. He's clearly watching his map because walking into their jungle like this is obviously dangerous. But he's watching the map. He saw the Zeus bottom. He saw the Visage bottom. He sees the Terrorblade. So he clearly feels comfortable. As Zeus is diving mid hard, this is a natural play to try to counter it. Unfortunately, he has a haste rune. So instead, he finds the Undying and 2-shots him. Insane. And he'll chase the Zeus. Oh, the haste is out. Zeus is dead now. And yeah, here we go. This is what's going to get you 1,000 GPM. The enemy overextends, you're farming Dire Woods, and then the enemy dives your tower and you punish it. It's just a perfect rotation. And from there, he just has 3k gold. In a minute, less than a minute and a half, he's gotten 3k gold. And that's not an over-exaggeration. 136 CS at minute 12. Pretty sure this is what the average 3k player has at minute 25. I'm kidding. It's like minute 20. All right, I'll give you guys some credit. Minute 20 is when you have this CS, all right? Depending on the hero you're playing. If you're playing Naga, fine. Any other hero, questionable. But yeah, into the jungle. Nothing too crazy here. He'll just acid spray out the camp, clearing it before the minute mark, using the remainder of the acid spray to farm it up, popping Chem Rage pretty actively just for the bonus attack speed. If you aren't familiar with Alchemist as a hero, when you pop your ulti, your base attack time goes down, which basically gives you more attack speed. It's not really what it does, but essentially it makes attack speed better. The lower your base attack time, the more value you get out of attack speed on average. And so yeah, he's able to clear up the Mud Golems, gets blessed on the Mud Golems. That's a 1340 Manta style coming out here as he's going to pop it into the enemy jungle, seemingly looking to stack initially. That's what I thought at least. And he finds an illusion rune, which is so lucky because the illusions give radiance. Now, it is a weakened version of radiance. And keep in mind, illusions will not give you Grievil's Greed Gold. There used to be a Dota patch where it did. I don't know if you guys remember that patch. Remember the Alch patch where it was still Radiance Manta Octarine, which is what he goes this game. That was the build. If you remember the illusions, the Manta style gave Grievil's Greed Gold. So when you split push with illusions, you just got disgusting amount of gold. Like it was just normal to have 1,000 GPM every game. It was like you played bad if you had less than 1,000 GPM in that patch. It was such a stupid patch for Alch. It was a stupid patch. But all right, farm out the jungle here, pushing out the wave, waiting the mini mark. Mini mark comes out. Unfortunately, the camps are blocked, but you can see he always positions his acids to drag two camps together. But now let's start to get into the team fighting. Hopefully you guys get the gist for the early game. At this point, he's just farming Radiant Woods, going from camp to camp. There's nothing too much to say. Anytime he has the acid spray up, he's going to look to put it in between two camps. Unfortunately, on Radiant, that's not super possible. But yeah, he sends Mantas to the bottom side of the map. Oh no, he actually sends... He blocks the Terrorblade's camps with the Mantas. What the... That is disgusting. Oh, that's hilarious. What? By the way, he took Unstable Concoction Radius. I think he took it at level 13. This is the better talent. Please take Unstable Concoction Radius. Don't take it at level 10, though. You should not take it at level 10. Take it at level 13 or level 14. At level 15, I wonder what talent he takes. Maybe neither. He's actually not skilling it up here as he charged a Concoction. Oh, he doesn't find anyone. This is an awkward fight. And this is where the game not ends, because somehow, even though he has 8k gold on the second highest person, his team is less than 8k ahead. So his team is clearly feeding, but to be fair, he's not helping them at all. So it's not that unreasonable. They did get crushed in the lanes though, which is irrelevant to him. At least in this game. The Zeus, I don't think, ganked. But yeah, with the Octarine core online, everything is just a disgustingly low cooldown. Manta's lower, Concoction, Acid Spray, and Chem Rage all are lower cooldown, and now he can start to dive. He finds an Undying on the top side of the map. Of course, naturally, he's paying attention to the clock, so he sees that the creep wave is spawning. He's going to clear up the creep wave. And he's in the Dire Woods, so might as well drop a little double acid spray, of course, just be efficient. Never stop farming, by the way, never. There's never a timing on Alch where you stop farming. It's just too efficient, because even if, let's say you 6-slot, you just start handing out ags. And there's like great ags to give this game. Ursa ags, incredible. Snap ags, very good. DP ags, honestly underrated. Hood ags, haven't seen it much, but it gives you an illusion that like can run around and give vision. It's solid. Ursa being the big one though. They're going to take out Roche. He buys the bots using the Boots of Travel. He's going to clear out bot, just being efficient and really just taking out the space on the map. Anytime you have Boots of Travel, you can play like this. If you don't, you should look to fight with your team. From there, he's going to cube a Blink Dagger, but instead changes his mind and buys Boots of Travel 2, which lowers the cooldown of Boots of Travel to 30 seconds and makes the TP time much lower and gives you more movement speed. That's what it does. He spent 2k gold on that, just really valuing the ability to move around the map. So yeah, using his botsy TP's top, is a little bit afraid of a gank here. Pops his Manta kind of early. Oh, does he die? Is this where he dies? Nice cookie. No. Oh, the cookie and the glimmer. Can pop Chem Rage now, go back in. What a play from the Snapfire, honestly. Shout out Snapfire. He stuns the Terrorblade knowing that the Visage is probably dead. And it's a long stun. One of the things about Alch is your stun is one of the stronger stuns in the game if you can channel it. Because once it's fully channeled, which is after 5 seconds, it's a 4-second stun. It's a black hole. It's crazy. All right, this play was pretty funny as well. He gets a nice little kill on the Terrorblade. Terrorblade TP's bottom trying to be as efficient as possible, but he glyphs the wave and gets in and just taps down the Terrorblade, who did not even have Sunder, by the way. So, just, oh god. It's such a gross game, because, like, it's not even a game where you can't even tell me, oh, Speed, you picked a game where 33 had like teammates that just destroyed the side lanes. His side lanes lost. His team was losing. Like, for sure, hard. It wasn't even like somewhat hard. They were getting owned. And oh, he's dragging the camp together and he's gonna bring it to himself. Oh. All right, finds the Dragon Scale, a little bit of armor, more damage over time. Gonna complete the Shivas here. Of course, you don't go Shivas in every game naturally. A lot of games you can just go AC for damage. This is such a good Shivas game against the Visage Birds and against Terrorblade Illusions, so it's too good to pass it up. It's also, this is the old school build where you would go like kind of more spell damage almost. I wonder if he took concoction damage at 20. Yeah, okay, so he even took concoction damage at 20. And it's crazy, it makes concoction do up to 760 damage. That is more damage than Finger of Death at level 1. I mean, crazy, right? And now you just chase people down because Concoction is a low cooldown ability. It's 9.8 with Octarine, which is obviously extremely low, as he's gonna, pop out the Concoction, hunt the Zeus, and you can throw it really far because the Octarine gives you cast range, so it's very easy to get off the Concoction as well, right? It's not a pain in the butt like typical Alch where, you have to get pretty close to throw the Concoction. Typically, you have to wait till you get Blink Dagger to actually throw the Concoction and get value out of it. All right, we're gonna see the last fight of the game before the enemy team gives up. He does get sundered, but he does not care. He should have popped his shard a little bit earlier for bonus regen and bonus movement speed. If you don't know what Alch shard does, it gives you 30 movement speed, 40 HP regen, and 50 attack speed for 10 seconds. It's actually extremely good, and it dispels you, which is particularly good this game for getting rid of overgrowth. So there's a lot of value in the shard, but I would have liked to see him pop it here just to make sure he heals up and cannot get bursted, but he knows that they're out of damage. The Terrorblade is just really underfarmed. Zeus does damage typically when you're high HP because of how his shard works, and so there's really nothing for him to fear. Even with 700 health remaining, he's just trudging on. And there's also a mech and a Greaves. So if he ever gets low, he's just chilling. And yeah, that is completely the end of the game. That is how you get 1,100 net worth on Alchemist. Good decision after good decision, apparently defending the safe lane tower. That play is such a 33 play. It's where everyone else is just like, of course I'm not going bottom, I'm playing out. Of course not. Where he's like, no, I'm gonna shut down the unit hero trying to take the tier 1 tower. I'm gonna delay the Visage's game hard. And that's what he does. It's just such a heads up play. I know it might seem like I'm overstressing it, but I'm really not. It's just things like that make these guys who they are. And all right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all. But remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.